When the news came out about the execution sentence for the murderer who bullied his fiancée, her eyes welled up with tears. I thought she was crying tears of joy, but who knew later that night she'd stab me with a knife. Her voice was hoarse. "It's all your fault. If you hadn't driven Alex away back then, I could have saved him." At this moment, I realized she had always harbored feelings for the man who bullied her. Regret consumed me as I took my last breath. In another life, seeing her being bullied, I pretended not to see. Didn't she love playing the saint? If it meant sacrificing her life, I figured she'd be willing. Lily was targeted by the school bully, Alex. She entered the class halfway through the second period, completely drenched, skin bruised, and reeking with a foul smell. As soon as she walked in, the students exchanged knowing glances and pinched their noses. "Where's that awful smell coming from? Is it trash walking in? Disgusting. You're filthy like you fell into a cesspool." A group mocked Lily ruthlessly. The teacher repeatedly called for silence, but the hearty laughter nearly blew the roof off. She paled, silently enduring the mockery, her eyes scanning each face, finally stopping at mine. Her tear-filled eyes looked pitiful and pleading. She mouthed, "Please help me." Everyone knew I was the most justice-oriented student in class. With good grades and a well-off family, bullies usually backed down when I stood up. But now, under her desperate gaze, I turned away. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Without anyone stopping, insults hurled at her like stones. She trembled, and when Alex clapped, the chaos calmed. Hope surged in Lily's eyes, only to be dashed in the next moment. "After school, keep her behind. Yelling isn't enough. Let's take action." Lily fainted. My face remained stone cold as I gripped my pen tightly, anger boiling within. Didn't she want to save a wicked bully? Why faint at the slightest intimidation? Nobody knew I had been reborn. In my previous life, seeing Lily bullied, I had helped her without hesitation. I chased away her tormentors and warned the class. With top grades and a wealthier background than Alex, he quickly transferred schools after realizing I was stopping him. Lily stopped me in the hallway, her pale face full of gratitude. "Thank you for helping me. Without you, I'd have faced the darkest part of my life." I waved it off, slightly embarrassed. I said earnestly, "Any decent person would stand up against bullying. Just focus on your studies." Her eyes shone with admiration. "Thank you." She started warming up to me, showing up more often. I asked if studying kept her busy. Blushing, she avoided eye contact. "I'm scared of another Alex. I feel safe only around you. I just want to stay close." My heart softened. I accepted her closeness gradually. We grew closer. At lunch, she'd naturally sit beside me. After school, we walked side by side, no longer in my shadow. Rumors spread about our relationship. I wanted to clarify, but Lily stopped me. "No need, Jimmy. I really like you." Taking a deep breath, she struggled with her words. "Since you first helped me, I started keeping you in my heart. As we grew close, so did my feelings. Jimmy, can you let me pursue you?" Her flushed face and my racing heart said I had feelings too. I accepted her confession. In 5 years of dating, we remained loving. Even after arguments, I quickly made amends. I planned gifts for anniversaries and holidays. But Lily grew distant. Her gaze no longer sparkled. Working late, she'd no longer wait or leave a light. I thought maybe it was a quiet phase. Steady love isn't bad. I planned to propose. From school till graduation, we'd never been apart. Our relationship deserved a perfect chapter. Proposal day, I wore her favorite white suit, kneeling with a ring. Friends and family applauded. Lily seemed absent-minded. After a few times, "Will you marry me?" Her tearful eyes and trembling voice said, "Yes." I thought she was overwhelmed with joy. Engrossed in the moment, I ignored her odd behavior. The night before our wedding registry, she appeared in a white wedding dress. I was laying rose petals on the bed, believing personal efforts showed my care for Lily. "Have some water," she offered shakily. Thinking nothing of it, I drank and casually noted, "You wanted to wear the dress the night before getting hitched." 4 years, Lily talked about wearing her dress, bidding farewell to her youth before our wedding. Her eyes were red and she was shaking all over. I instinctively wanted to comfort her. But then I fell to the ground, unable to move. Alex is dead. Did you know that? I strained to remember that name through a foggy brain. Yeah, he was the one who bullied Lily in high school. He's dead, sentenced to death for murder. Lily was crying and laughing. Why should he die? It was those awful women who led him on. It's not fair. I remembered. Alex brutally killed his girlfriend 6 months ago. It made the news. When the cops came, he was still dealing with the body. When it came out, the whole internet was in an uproar. His family couldn't protect him anymore. So, today was the day he was sentenced to death. I loved him for years. Even when he bullied me, I was happy. I thought I could save him. Her eyes were bloodshot, her voice hoarse. It's all your fault. You protected me, and that's why he transferred schools and got led on by other girls. I could have saved him. She cried and looked desperate. That's when it hit me. Lily had been in love with him all along. A sharp pain pierced my heart, making it hard to breathe. I was fading fast, but I kept staring at Lily with hate. If she liked him, why did she ask me to save her and then confess to me? My overwhelming anger kept me restless even in death, as Lily's crazy smile was the last thing I saw. Her white wedding dress was red with my blood. Even long after I died, my blood-red eyes stayed fixed on her. Back to high school, during the time Lily was bullied. This time, I didn't help her like she begged. She thought I was stopping her from saving Alex, so I decided not to intervene at all. When the school bell rang, I packed up to go home. Alex had already planned how to mess with Lily in just one class period. What's the fun in passing out? He laughed darkly. Someone get some water to wake her up. Don't use clean water though. Didn't the janitor just mop the floor? Use that water instead. I ignored it all, slinging my backpack over my shoulder to leave. Lily woke up, drenched in dirty water. Her eyes filled with confusion and fear before she realized what was going on. She looked at me with a pleading voice. Jimmy, you're kind, you're a good person. Help me, I don't want to be here, they're gonna bully me to death. Please help me. I froze. Then anger surged through me. I wasn't helping her. Why was she dragging me into her twisted game with Alex? Alex smirked. Hey, want to help her out? If you say so, I'll step back. Just a girl after all. From the corner of my eye, I saw Lily flinch at his words, briefly hurt. And then it clicked. Alex enjoyed taking other guys' girlfriends, especially his rivals. Lily asking me for help last time must have been to provoke Alex into pursuing her. I shook my head and rejected Lily. Walking past her, I kicked her hand away when she tried to grab my ankle. I accidentally stomped on her hand, watching as she winced in pain, sweat beading on her forehead. When I released my foot, her hand was red and swollen. I told the class clearly, I've got nothing to do with her. I'm not helping. Do whatever you want. Lily slumped, terror filling her eyes at what was coming. I shot her a cold look before turning away. Her desperate cries faded as I left the room. Alex, please let me go. Please, don't hit me, it hurts. Help? Anyone. Liked Alex, didn't she? Wanted to save him? Then why ask for help now? I felt nothing. She wanted to save the bad boy. She should have been happy to take the blows. The next day at school, I walked into the classroom just as the bell rang, which was so unlike me. Since my rebirth, I hadn't slept as well as I did last night for a long time. As soon as I entered the classroom, I immediately noticed the weird, tense atmosphere. Torn pieces of a diary were scattered all over the floor. Lily was still in her school uniform from last night. She was reeking with a nasty smell, covered in bruises, with messy hair and a flushed face. She was stubbornly standing in front of Alex's desk, her eyes bloodshot and defiant. Yeah, I like you, Alex. Is it wrong to love someone? Why do you say my love is worthless? You have no idea how much I care about you. My desk partner pulled me down to sit with him and filled me in on what was happening in just a few words. Turns out, yesterday Lily got locked in the classroom by Alex, left to stew in the empty building as some sort of punishment. This morning, Alex woke up early, humming a tune as he headed to school. He didn't see what he expected, a dejected Lily hiding in a corner of the classroom. Instead, she was peacefully sitting in her seat, writing, with a sweet smile on her face. When she turned and saw Alex, shock on his face for arriving so early, she panicked and instinctively tried to hide the diary. But she didn't manage in time. Alex got mad since he didn't get the reaction he wanted. He stormed into the classroom, yanked Lily's hair, and slammed her to the ground, giving her 2 sharp slaps across the face. He unexpectedly saw his name written in the open diary on the desk, something Lily had just penned down. I really suspect Lily's head isn't screwed on right. Is she blind or something, falling for a lowlife who only knows how to bully his classmates? My desk mate whispered this in a low voice, full of disdain for Lily. If I were her, I'd like you instead. I frowned and cut him off. Don't say stuff like that. I have nothing to do with her and don't want to be involved. My desk mate went quiet, feeling a little awkward. In the classroom, students exchanged knowing looks, amused by the situation. Lily was still pouring out her feelings. Alex, you're not inherently bad. I know you're a good person. You just need redemption. I can help you and I'll always be by your side, no matter what you're like. I like you. The room went silent, Alex keeping his head low, his bangs covering his eyes so you couldn't tell what he was feeling. After a while, he finally moved. Lily's face lit up with joy. The next second, she was yanked to the ground by her hair. Who do you think you are to talk about redeeming me? A big bump formed on her pale forehead, looking pretty gruesome. When Alex let go, his hand was wrapped in a bunch of hair with bright red blood. He pulled off a piece of Lily's scalp. Are you asking for it? I lowered my gaze and started tidying up my finished test papers. The sound of Alex hitting echoed in my ears, and Lily kept crying for mercy, but Alex showed no mercy. Each punch was harsher than the last. Seems like Lily doesn't need me to intervene. She's getting more than enough trouble from Alex. I sported a casual smile, thinking they're 2 peas in a pod doomed to be stuck together. Lily ended up in the hospital after Alex's assault. He was especially ruthless that day. If the big math teacher hadn't come in time and restrained his rage, Lily's injuries would have been a lot worse. Even so, she had to stay in the hospital for more than half a month before she could barely return to school. The day she returned, I just came out of the teacher's office with a competition form in hand. Lily, pale and limping in pain, blocked my path and bit her lip. Why didn't you save me, Jimmy? Aren't you the kindest and most compassionate person? If you had helped me, I wouldn't have been beaten this badly. Jimmy, it's all your fault. Just walking that short distance had sweat beat up on her forehead. I frowned with annoyance. You like Alex, don't you? Wasn't I doing you a favor by giving you a chance to get closer? I walked around her. Her lips moved, full of doubt. This isn't how it should be. You're supposed to be kind. I raised my voice so everyone could hear. Don't come near me and stop pestering me to save you. You openly confessed to Alex. If he hits you, you like it. You're both playing the same game, so leave others out of your mess. Around us, laughter erupted from the other students. High school life is pretty dull, and I figured what I said today would spread. Then if Lily sought help from others, any sensible person would stay out of it. After all, no one wants trouble. Plus, Alex hit you because you confessed to him saying you wanted to redeem him, right? I mocked. Seems like he doesn't want your redemption. Lily's face turned white, especially as she noticed her classmates' mocking gazes, and tears welled up in her eyes. She still had some pride left, and she covered her face, trying to leave. But I stopped her, speaking loudly and clearly. I have nothing to do with you. If anything happens between you and Alex, don't expect me to help. I don't want to be involved in your so-called love. Love can heal, it's your belief, not something for normal people. Seriously, I really don't like you. Lily's face flushed red, and she glared at me before leaving. After I publicly laid it all out, Lily and Alex became the talk of the school. Wherever they went, they faced whispers and gossip. Lily's reputation was completely ruined. Everyone knew she seemed to have a masochistic streak and avoided her like the plague. Some nosy classmates even reminded each other, "Stay away from Lily. You don't want to catch whatever's wrong with her." Yeah, she confessed to Alex and now drags Jimmy into it, demanding his help. She's bad news. Who'd like Alex anyway? Asking to get slapped around every day. The rumors snowballed, and Alex's gaze turned more hostile toward Lily. He was the infamous school bully, but now everyone was ridiculing him because of Lily, though no one dared directly say it to his face. But Lily seemed unfazed. After openly confessing to Alex, she practically became his shadow, showing up everywhere he might be. She ignored all the pointing and Alex's brooding mood. Smiling, she said, "Alex, I like you. I'm going to pursue you. I said you're not really bad. No one's guided you, but I'm here now. I can redeem you." Alex cursed under his breath, feeling humiliated in front of his crew. Lily didn't notice Alex's disgust and kept rambling. "I made this breakfast myself. Try it, it's really good. You have to eat breakfast. Skipping it isn't good for you." Alex knocked the breakfast to the ground. Instantly, the whole corridor's eyes were on them. Noticing the gazes, Alex, even more annoyed, dealt Lily 2 slaps across the face, scowling. "Come near me again, and you're finished." Lily sat on the ground, tears streaming, face in her hands. "Alex, I really like you." "Damn." Alex, who had already walked away, swiftly turned back and kicked her right in the stomach. She was in so much pain that she couldn't get up from the floor for a long time. I stepped out of the classroom just to witness the drama. Every classroom window in the hallway was open, with curious onlookers peeking out. Lily looked up at me, her eyes full of resentment. "Are you enjoying this? I'll catch up with Alex soon enough." I softly congratulated her. "Wow, that's great. You go and chase him then." She gritted her teeth. "I'm sure I will get him." I raised my voice. Yeah, you'll definitely get Alex. From dating Lily for 5 years in my last life, I know how she is. The more you tell her she can't do something, the more determined she gets. Like chasing Alex. Everyone sees that Alex is bad news, but she thinks redeeming him is a worthy cause. I'm sure I fired her up, encouraging her to pursue Alex even more actively. I can't wait to see how that turns out for her. Lily lay on the ground for a while. No one helped her up. It wasn't until the class bell rang that a teacher saw her bruised face and asked, shocked and concerned, "Were you bullied? Do you need help? I can give you a pass to the nurse's office." Lily, annoyed, struggled to her feet. "I wasn't bullied. I was just joking around with someone I like." "Stop making stuff up. Mind your own business, teacher." Lily rolled her eyes and stumbled back into class. The well-meaning teacher was left red-faced from being scolded. The classroom went quiet, and the students exchanged looks. I chuckled and said to Alex, "Congrats, man. Someone out there loves you so much. Maybe you should just go for it." My desk mate couldn't help but laugh, but quickly stopped when sensing the tension. Alex's face turned darker. He muttered something under his breath and skipped class. From that day on, students avoided Lily. They didn't want to accidentally get hit when Alex was around. And no one wanted to intervene and get accused by Lily of being clueless. Lily went all out to pursue Alex. In the morning, she made breakfast for Alex, speaking softly. "I woke up at 4 to make this for you. Try it. If it's good, I'll make more." During lunch, she'd follow Alex to skip class and cheer him on during fights. Heard some guy across the street got annoyed with her antics and beat her up. Come next day, Lily had a fresh set of bruises. Even then, Lily said, "Love can numb the pain. Alex is softening up to me. I'm sure I can save him." A bunch of classmates actually got moved and started saying she was devoted, guessing when Alex would finally be redeemed by her. As soon as the bell rang, Lily would be surrounded, everyone asking about her and Alex's progress. She'd strut around like a proud hen, bragging, "Alex is changing already. I'm about to succeed." She'd give me a smug look after boasting. I secretly chuckled. Go ahead and laugh, it won't last. Next class, the teacher scolded Lily harshly. "Do you even realize how much your grades have slipped? School isn't for acting out some cliched redemption story. Your focus should be your studies." Lily's eyes went red from the scolding. Meanwhile, the teacher praised me. I had won a gold medal in a competition and got a guaranteed college acceptance. Last time, I was too busy comforting bullied Lily to focus on studying. I only won second place. But this time around, I put all my efforts into it, no distractions. I finally achieved my true potential. I politely thanked the teacher for the praise. Since I refused to help Lily, she resented me. Coupled with my open dislike towards her, I had great social support. Many stayed away from her too. Lily wanted to get back at me, but couldn't find a way. Her grades nosedived while I remained the teacher's favorite. Yet soon Lily was cocky again, because Alex accepted Lily's confession. Heard it happened after a big group fight. Lily patched him up and confessed in a gentle voice. Don't know which one of Alex's lackeys egged him on. Boss, you should go for it. You've never dated a clingy one before. Have some fun, then break it off later. All of Lily's affection, Alex saw it. Though he still thought she was crazy, Alex, with his unhappy home life, felt a bit touched. No girl ever took a hit from him, then stuck around asking for more, claiming she wanted to save him. All his previous girlfriends wanted to break up after only a few days. He considered for a moment. I'm not a good guy. You sure you want to be with me? Lily felt like she was the heroine of a teen drama, about to save the bad boy. She nodded eagerly. I do. And so they started dating. Lily was again a big deal at school. She even came to rub it in my face. Jimmy, thanks for your blessings. Alex and I are together now. I smiled and congratulated her. By the way, be sure to redeem him well. I hear real redemption means changing someone for the better. When it's done, won't you feel accomplished? Lily rubbed her chin, deep in thought. One Friday, the sunset was blood red. This weekend was pure vacation. Such a rare treat for high schoolers. Everyone's spirits were lifted. But the sound of an ambulance interrupted everyone's thoughts. The ambulance stopped near the alley by the school gate, and a bunch of people gathered around to see what was going on. Quickly, doctors brought out a girl on a stretcher, covered in blood with wounds all over her. Alive or dead, nobody could tell. Following the stretcher was Alex, looking gloomy. His school uniform was covered in dust and bloodstains. That night, the whole city's group chats were buzzing with gossip. I got the scoop firsthand. Turns out, when I mentioned saving someone meant helping them rise up, Lily took that to heart. She decided to start reforming Alex. When Alex skipped class, she jumped in saying, Alex, skipping class isn't right. Let's get into a good college together. Alex, never the considerate boyfriend, snapped back, with your terrible grades? I'm the one getting into college. My family's got money. I'm going overseas after I graduate. Lily's eyes turned red. The next day, Alex planned a fight, and Lily followed him. When the two groups were about to clash, she jumped in saying, Stop fighting. Come on, let's be good students instead. The other group started laughing, mocking Alex nonstop. Oh, you want to be a good student, huh? Then why'd you arrange this fight? When Alex couldn't control himself again and was checking out new girls, Lily cried, Didn't you say we'd be together forever? You're lying. That ticked him off. So, another time when Lily started preaching about saving him, helping him be the person he could be, Alex snapped. He threw Lily to the ground, slamming her head against the wall. He yelled, Even my parents don't tell me to do better? Who are you? Lily, I've tolerated you for long enough. In that quiet alley, the sound of hitting was endless. Lily was beaten to the hospital, nearly dead. A classmate privately messaged me, Lily's so pitiful. Is she out of her mind? Thinking she's the main character in a romance drama, just trying to rescue him? Mastermind, let me ask you something. Don't get mad, okay? If you'd helped when Lily first asked for your help, would Alex still have beaten her? I replied, Lily's enamored by it. She likes guys like Alex. Don't overthink it or waste your sympathy. Save that sympathy for people who actually need help. People like Lily, you help them, and they end up resenting you for messing with their rescue narrative. From my past life, I've learned that lesson well. But I didn't expect Lily to come looking for me. She wore a thin white dress, hair smooth, looking all pure and gentle if you ignored her face. Bruised, looking like a messed up color palette. Jimmy, I regret it. I realized I don't even like Alex. It was just a bad habit. I was used to chasing him, liking him, but scum like him doesn't deserve my saving. You don't know how badly I was beaten that day. I really thought he was gonna beat me to death. I kept a blank face, fighting the urge to laugh. You came back too, right? Her eyes red, tears cutting down her bruised face, looking kind of funny. My heart skipped a beat, but my expression was just right, acting confused. What are you on about? Lily's face lit up. You didn't come back? Great. She said slowly, I'm your wife from the future. In the past life, you soon agreed to be with me around this time. Our relationship was always great. I came back to find you again. Jimmy, trust me, we are meant to be. Will you help me break up with Alex? Just say you like me, and he'll leave me alone. And then we'll be together. You can tutor me again, and we'll go to the same college. As she spoke, Lily tried to dive into my arms. I backed off a few steps, questioning slowly but reaching for my phone, fingers quickly typing a message. And you say you came back from the future. Our future was so lovely? Lily nodded, eager, very in love. You treated me well, never made me sad. You took great care of me. When Alex was banging my head against the wall, I jumped back to now. Why didn't you save me? If you had, we would have been together sooner. She started blaming me again. I smirked inside. Oh, you knew I had your back all along. Huh? But in the past life, you stabbed me, ignoring my pleas. You really hate Alex? Yeah, anyone would. I was fooled by his vulnerability, thought he needed saving. But really, he's just trash, his fate's to wallow in the mud. We make up. I cut her off, eyes fixing behind her. Alex, you heard all that? Your girlfriend's not in her right mind, asking me to help her break up with you. Maybe it's all just a mix-up, you guys should talk it out. Lily. Alex approached, pulling her shoulder close. Lily shivered, breaking into cold sweat. Suddenly, the smell hit. Lily had peed her pants out of fear. Alex, her voice shook. I grinned. Alex nodded at me, then led Lily away, ignoring her cries and insults. His face only changed when she called him a psycho. Jimmy, save me. I'm your wife. In our past, it was great love. Her voice grew faint, words scattered by the wind. I hummed a little tune, feeling like a weight had been lifted. I was talking to myself. You guys are together because I made it happen, all that stirring up from everyone. I orchestrated it. Just now, I sent a message to Alex, and he came over quickly, catching Lily bad-mouthing him. Alex has a domineering personality because his parents are never around. They just send him money, and that has made him really competitive. He'd be happy if Lily dumped him. But if she wanted to break up, insulted him, and turned to other guys for help to leave him, Alex might not be so willing to let go. Or rather, before breaking up, he'd want to make Lily suffer first. In a past life, Alex's girlfriend found out he was a jerk and tried to end it, but he killed her. Alex hates being abandoned. No matter the reason, he can't stand it. I can't figure out why someone would want to save such a jerk after knowing he's won. But whatever, let the two of them be miserable together and spare everyone else. In my junior year, my startup took off and I made quite a bit of money. I bought my dad a new car and my mom a new purse. They hugged me, tears in their eyes. That night, I went to a high school reunion. After a few drinks, the atmosphere was lively. Suddenly, I heard a familiar name. Lily and Alex? Those two twisted folks? Lily sounded like a name from way back. These past years, I'd been focused on improving myself and hadn't really kept up with their news. I used to think the whole redemption love story between the innocent girl and the wild bad boy was thrilling. Now it seems one's stuck in a drama fantasy, and the other is just a pure-on maniac. Lily and Alex didn't take the college entrance exams. I heard they were supposed to stay together forever. That's what Lily wanted. But suddenly she changed her mind and wanted out. Of course, Alex wasn't having it. He'd beat her up a little every day, worse every third day, but never let her break up, wanting to punish her to death. Then one night, Lily snapped and stabbed Alex to death. They said the whole room was covered in blood. Then what? Someone asked. Lily got the death penalty. Alex's body was in such bad shape. Even the cops who came in threw up. The storyteller frowned and added, but Lily seemed crazy. She kept saying she was reborn, that in her last life, she stabbed her fiancé to death because of Alex, and after finally being reborn, Alex wouldn't leave her alone. He concluded, Lily's not normal. No normal person would stick around Alex. Saying she was reborn? She's even crazier. The topic quickly changed as they discussed something new. I finished my drink slowly and went for a walk outside. The moonlight was like water, and the shadows of the trees swayed gently in the breeze. I thought to myself, I better get back home for the hangover soup my parents made.